Hello students, welcome back to my session. Today I would like to discuss poem that is Send My Boy to School written by Waman Kardak, which is prescribed for second year of B.A. in Compulsory English. Waman Tabaji Kardak was born on 15th August 1922. He is popularly known as Waman Dada Kardak. He is a Marathi poet and playwright. Students, the present poem is a voice of mother who is a representative of a Dalit strata. First of all, let us read the poem in detail and then we will turn to its interpretation. See the poem. The title of the poem is the first line of poem itself. Send my boy to school. Send my boy to school, Lord and Master, I tell you, send my boy to school. We may be terribly poor, famine may knock at our door, I will see that he gets to school, send my boy to school, etc. If the leg of your garment is rent, I promise to patch and mend. For my garment, my needle is the tool, send my boy to school, etc. If my clothes are torn, what do I care? My boy must never go bare. What use I do have for a jewel? Send my boy to school, etc. He has got something from society. In return, my boy is going to learn. He will be a lawyer, nobody's fool. Send my boy to school, etc. My boy won't stay stupid or worse, like that poet Waman's bad verse. My oath on you, if there is no school, send my boy to school, etc. See, in these words, Waman Kardak has painted agony of the downtrodden strata and their aspiration to have education. If you are aware about the past years when Dalit strata was not allowed to enter into schools, and if you are aware about all those things regarding casteism in India, then you may understand this poem in proper way. Otherwise, there are little chances to understand what the poet is actually saying here. It is the mother's cry for her son to get education. And we know that many people contributed a lot to open the doors of education for the Dalit or downtrodden strata. Right? So, what the poet is conveying here, he is trying to give a voice to the voiceless strata of the society, saying, send my boy to school, Lord and masters, I tell you, send my boy to school. It is, as I told, the mother's voice, and the mother is not an ordinary. The mother is a representative of Dalit strata. And she is asking to Lord and Masters to send her boy to school. Why? In the next stanza, poet says, we may be terribly poor, famine may knock at our door. So we may be poor, we don't have money, or we don't have luxurious things in our life, and we are terribly poor. In a way, we are unable to fill up our bellies as well. That is being terribly poor. So try to understand agony behind these words. We may be terribly poor, famine may knock at our door. Famine means, right? Many people die due to flood or such a type of disaster. So, every day there is famine at our door, right? Every day we suffer a lot because of poverty, because of illiteracy, because of casteism, because of discrimination, right now? So the poet or the narrator here says, we may be terribly poor, famine may knock at our door, I will see that he gets to school, send my boy to school. Whatever let happen to us, though we are not that much rich, or though we are not well settled, though we face problems every day, I wish to see my son in school. In the next stanza, the narrator says, if the leg of your garment is rent, I promise to patch and mend. For my garment, my needle is the tool. Send my boy to school. See, here the narrator is asking to send her boy to school, and in exchange of that, the narrator is ready to serve Lord and Masters. And so, here the voice says, if the leg of your garment is rent, I promise to patch and mend. I will try to make it correct. I am here to serve you. Though I don't get garment like you, and for my garment, my needle is the tool. Send my boy to school. If my clothes are torn, what do I care? I don't care if my clothes are torn, if they are not that much good, if they are torn, then it doesn't matter to me. My boy must never go bare, but my boy should get everything, right? So the voice is saying here that though I didn't get anything in my life, though I face problems and difficulties, my son should not face it. And so, what the voice says in the next line, what use I do have for a jewel? Send my boy to school. I don't want jewel. I don't want a well and rich clothes. I may wear torn clothes. I may go barefoot, but I will not allow or my boy must never go bare, means my boy should get everything, whatever necessary to live the life in a good way. So what use I do have for a jewel? Send my boy to school. I don't want jewel. I don't want all these luxurious things in my life. What I expect? I just expect education to my son. He has got something from society. In return, my boy is going to learn. See, what the Dalit strata got from the society? You know, only humiliation, only suppression, only hunger, only starvation, only illiteracy, right? And the voice is saying here, he has got something from society. In return, my boy is going to learn. He will be a lawyer. Nobody's fool. Send my boy to school. So he got something from society, and in return he should also give something to society. And so my boy is going to learn. My boy should get education. So he will be a lawyer. A voice expect that her son should be a lawyer who may give justice to needy people, right? Those who are away from the justice, he may give justice to the people. And so that mother wants to make her son a lawyer. He will be a lawyer and nobody's fool. If he got education, then he will be a lawyer. He will not remain a fool person. So to make him a lawyer, we have to provide him education. Otherwise, he will be a fool. Right? Fool means you know. And so, send my boy to school. See the last stanza. My boy won't stay stupid or worse, like that poet Waman's bad verse. My oath on you, if there is no school, send my boy to school. See in the last stanza what the voice says? It says, my boy won't stay stupid or worse, like that poem Waman's bad verse. Here the poet is giving reference of his own, that he suffered a lot, and he suffered a lot. Why? Because of his illiteracy. He learnt letters very late in his life. And so he says, my boy won't stay stupid or worse, like that poet Waman's bad verse. So if he got education, he will be a wise person. My oath on you, if there is no school, send my boy to school. In the last two lines, the narrator is forcing to send her son to school. Even if there is no school, still she should get education. Means I don't want to listen any excuse. I just want to see my son into school. Right? So this is the agony of the Dalit strata. You are today having a education, your family members are supporting you, society supports you, even government supports you, but we people are not that much aware of benefits of education, and so we waste our life, we waste our time, right? But here the agony or that cry indicates that education is very important in order to be a good person or a wise person. Okay, so education is a passport not only to a new improved lifestyle, but it is also a liberator, a powerful weapon against the system that has been followed by society for centuries in the name of casteism, you know very well, right? And that is why here the central cry of Dalit poet is to get educated. The poem is an appeal to send the boy to school. In the poem, the poet shows an acute understanding of the situation. And the poet knows that if the conditions have to improve, then next generation must go to school. Without educating themselves, the people cannot change their conditions and they will remain in the same vicious circle where they will have to practice their professions depending upon their caste rather than their births, right? And to avoid that, to come out of that, we need to take education. And through that poem, the poet wants to highlight the importance of education to suppressed strata, to that Dalit strata or to the downtrodden strata. Okay, and so here the mother's voice is crying for having education for her son, right? I hope that you understood the present poem and what the poet here wants to convey. Okay, read the poem once again and try to summarize it. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.